Every achievement man has made so far can be attributed to education of one type or the other. All over the world, access into higher education remains a big issue, and various governments have been trying to reduce this problem through open and distance learning. It is on this premise that the authorities of the Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, put together the Distance Learning Center to widen access to mass education. Distance Learning Center is a form of education strategy which is used to solve the problems of overgrowing number of candidates which need higher education. It is an educational pattern, approach and strategy that permit people to learn with no barriers in respect of time and space, age, and previous educational qualification. It is the field of education in which learners are physically separated from the educational provider, communicating and writing through the use of new technologies like the internet, WhatsApp services, text messages, phone calls, and so on.
You can sit down at the comfort of your home and still learn, even probably better, and earn the same Ahmadu Bello University degree. We have actually started through what we call affiliations, whereby, as I'm speaking to you now, there are over 12 colleges of education and polytechnics around the country that are in affiliation with Ahmadu Bello University. What it means, particularly for the bachelors of education, B.Ed degrees. If you go to all these colleges of education around, they admit the students there, we regulate the programs, and in the end they earn a Ahmadu Bello University degree in their respective institutions. So even that one is still inadequate. So we have to progress into the distance learning, where with the aid of technology and modern ways of doing things, we can actually reach out to as many as our teeming number of candidates that solicit to come in.
We obtained an approval early in 2016, and ever since then we've continued moving. The ABU model essentially utilizes three key things. One is flexibility. The second is technology. The third is student support. Right from the application process, we've built in flexibility in it. Our application is online, so students can access the application portal online. And having been admitted into the system, naturally, you are expected to be screened to be sure that all your particulars are in order before you engage into the activities of the program. For us at the Ahmadu Bello University, we also realized that the distribution of our students is such that insisting that every student has to come to Zaria for each and every activity, one, is not in line with the spirit of distance education, and that two, considering other variables, the security situation, and so many other factors, getting everybody to travel to Zaria was going to be a Herculean task. Consequently, we have a system of ABU, even before then, had a system of liaison offices around the country, and we explored that. So we used quite a number of liaison offices, and what we simply do at these liaison offices is that they serve as warehousing facilities for us, as well as facilities for screening our students, as well as passing whatever necessary information we need to pass to them.
The Ahmadu Bello Distance Learning Center was established in 2016 as a program of studies which provides opportunities for educational advancement for members of society who find themselves in such situations as workers who desire education to improve their skills but who cannot afford to leave their jobs for full-time programs, persons who appear frustrated with the bottlenecks in the processes of seeking admission to conventional institutions, persons who began their studies in conventional institutions but had to drop out for various reasons, including loss of educational sponsors and the like.
The total intake for ABU allowed is about 10,000. And once in a while, we have up to 80,000 applications, out of which we will take only 10. What do we do with these young men and women? 70,000, sometimes 30,000, 40,000. So this is an alternative mode that they can enroll and have their degrees from ABU. So it's very, very relevant to us.
According to experts, the mass of people who seek education to improve themselves find solace in distance learning centers. It is with this that the Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, deemed it fit to chart a new course for the education sector in Nigeria.
If you take the JAMB statistics, the number of applicants per annum is increasing. And that is rightly so also because, as you know, the youth population in Nigeria is very high. I think about 60% are youth. And so this youth, for us to have a prosperous country, we have to train them, capacity building. And so we need many more outlets for them to be educated. And so the role of since this brick and mortar university approach has to change, there is a limit you can admit. Whereby we can admit 10,000 students. The distance learning center may admit 50,000 because of the mode of delivery of the system.
This is the first university in this part of the country that have started it. So for people to even realize that this has come, and it has come to stay, and it has come in full force.
The structure of their programs are in line with those in the university, and in fact I want to say that we are happy that in some instances the activities of the very dynamic director of the center has helped to shape some of the programs within the normal conventional departments in our university, because for instance in the course of their curriculum, drawing the curriculum for the center, they discovered that there were some courses that needed some realignment, and this affected the other courses that we could do through conventional system, and they benefited.
The director of the center noted that students can have access to programs through electronic training worldwide. Besides, controlled questionnaires are also provided online, and examinations can be held in various test centers.
On the distance learning platform, the requirements are that students must have their course materials ab initio. And we looked at it and said, well, yeah, students are going to have their course materials ab initio. But research has shown that we all do not read and understand the same way, using the same kind of modality. And we also know that not everybody has the same aptitude when it comes to study. And because the buzzword now in educational delivery is not about teaching, it's about learning. It's no longer about the teacher-centeredness, it's now about student-centeredness. So everything now hinges on the student. It is how do you ensure that the student learns? That is the most important thing. It's not what the teacher says, it is what the student is able to get. Consequently, we ensure that for every subject that we do have, we go ahead and produce a material of this nature. Now, this is a course material for one of the courses for the MBA program. Now, for every subject, we have a course material that is already developed. So once a student registers for a course, he picks a course material. It's part of the fee structure. And having done that, we also realized that, well, this is the 21st century. Not everybody wants to read books or carry books all over the place. It was something we did as students, but times have gone by. So we also produce the e-copies of these same books. So our students are given the e-copies. Then we also went ahead, and we know there are some of these courses, especially the quantitatives, that have a lot of calculations and some of these things. So we got our tutors to develop videos. And then at the same time again, we also said, well, sometimes we may want to multitask. While doing something else, we still want to study. So we went ahead in ABU to also produce the audio versions of the course materials. So our students have the books, they have the e-copies of the course material, they have the audio versions of it, as well as videos. Our various liaison offices are able to organize examinations at these centers. We got the Senate of the Ahmadu Bello University to approve our examination policy, which allows us to have our examinations conducted in Lagos, in Port Harcourt, in Abuja, in Gombe, as well as in Zaria. So these, along with other flexibilities, have been created into the system to make it possible for everyone, irrespective of your vocation, irrespective of your location, to be able to participate in our programs.
Students who enroll at the center have the opportunity to learn from some of the best and brightest in their fields, as their e-learning courses are taught by the same renowned faculty members who teach in their on-campus programs.
The number of students is growing, but unfortunately, the sizes of the lecture halls are not growing. While, for instance, a hall that is meant for, let's say, 40 students in the Department of Political Science, now you have 300 students. Now, they will better receive their instruction through online. They are not going to be DLC students as such, but they are on campus, but they can receive their lectures online.
The students apply for admission online, and they get a provisional letter of admission. They bring a copy of that provisional letter of admission to the office here, along with their documents and passport photographs. We examine the documents as well as the pictures to confirm that it is the person that applied that is doing the registration. They also do some assignments, actually toward the end. When they write projects, they don't have to go and take it to Zaria or mail it to Zaria. They bring the project reports here, like thesis, and we deliver them to Zaria.
The per-course fee structure of the e-learning programs makes it very affordable for everyone willing to get started immediately.
The registration is not allowed in proxy. You must do it in person. Another thing that we also do here is that when students register and pay for their course materials, the ABU Distance Learning Center sends the course materials in bulk to the office here. And the students come one by one and they plead themselves to come and take their course materials.
The Distance Learning Center of Ahmadu Bello University deems it fit that it takes to the doorstep of Nigerians or the Nigerian child education that is as flexible as the distance learning education. Now, in doing this, we came up with a fee paying structure in that you can pay per course. For the postgraduate programs, we pay 20,000 naira per course, while for the undergraduate program, we pay 15,000 naira per course. For example, you are to do 24 credit course unit, but as it is, you can do 9 credit course unit. That is to say, you can take at least 3 minimum or 4 minimum courses, and then we feel you should be able to pay at the rate of the 15,000 naira per course or 20,000 naira per course.
Speaking further, the Deputy Director of the Center, Dr. Ladan Sharehu, says, the Ahmadu Bello University Distance Learning Center enjoys a great deal of educational resources and support services which are indispensable tools needed for effective implementation of distance learning programs. These resources include infrastructural facilities. Meanwhile, the center has made access to e-library, educational resource centers, even health facilities. This, no doubt, will enhance the quality of learning experiences offered to distance learning programs, which is often reflected in the overall learning outcome.
The center has about 6 departments. That is, number 1, the director's office. Secondly, the administration office, which I'm in charge of. And then thirdly, we have the academic department. And then we have the office of the secretary of the center. And then sixthly, we have the office of the finance officer. We have what you call the liaison offices.
The National Universities Commission, which is a regulatory body for all universities in Nigeria, has added a unit to its fold to supervise the activities of Distance Learning Center in Ahmadu Bello University. One of the feats of the Distance Learning Center is the accreditation of our programs by the National Universities Commission, NUC.
We are thankful to NUC because for that insistence, they've been able to make us what we are today. We started about 3 years ago, and we're making tremendous progress with about 3,000 students now, and we believe that we're doing very well. And with additional programs coming on board, we believe that additional students will be enrolled in our programs.
NEC is in the forefront for the establishment of all programs, academic programs in all Nigerian universities, distance learning included. So we give them approval to run distance learning, and we do that when we are fully satisfied that the university has the resources to conduct distance learning. Distance learning is a different mode of learning from the conventional learning we know. So a few universities in this country have the approval to run conventional, and then we call them dual mode universities. Dual mode means they can do the conventional and do the distance learning. So ABU is one of such few universities that got the approval of the National Universities Commission to run distance learning in addition to the conventional mode of knowledge delivery that they already set up to do as a university.
In spite of the potentials and glaring advantages of distance learning center in Nigeria, there are challenges that are yet to be fixed.
The establishment of the distance learning center is very strategic to the university. One, it will enable the university reach out to this teeming population of applicants wishing to come to the university who could not be accommodated under the regular programs. And then again, the university is also faced with numerous challenges, resource-wise, to run its operations, because government funding is seldom enough. For example, in terms of overhead, as big as this university is, you see what we get is very little, less than 200 million per annum. Establishment of the distance learning center, you see, it's a long-term strategy to address this challenge.
To get NUC approval for the distance learning is more than anything you can think of. It's easier to get approval for hundreds of programs in the normal time than to get a single accreditation of program from the NUC. So it costed us a lot of money. It's still costing. But it doesn't come cheap to students also, because the tuition in this particular education is not like the regular one, which the government says is tuition free. No, students here pay for the tuition because it consumes a lot of money because of the resources that are deployed for the transmission of the system.
For distance learning education to be sustainable, it needs to be well funded, engage and train more academic staff in line with the operations of open and distance learning education mode, and at the same time ensure that learners enjoy educational experience that will lead to quality learning experience.
The center can best be managed efficiently by imbibing sound financial management practices under the new public financial management policy of the university and then of government that will curb wastages. As you know, the center operates virtual, and so you need an up-to-date system of accounting, financial management, to make sure that inflows and outflows are captured effectively and efficiently, and also cash flows generated are managed properly.
In the light of the appraisal of distance learning programs, one may conclude that Distance Learning Center has come to stay as a way out of present problems being encountered by Nigerians who are very eager to improve their performances and contribute meaningfully to national growth, and for the young ones who are frustrated by artificial barriers such as frequent strike actions and the like placed on their ways by the conventional universities.
The Distance Learning Center was established to achieve 3 primary objectives: improve access, improve the visibility of the Ahmadu Bello University, and I will say also serve as an internally generating revenue source for the university. On all these 3, I think we've done well. Improving access, we started off with the Masters in Business Administration program, and we were able to have up to about 2,400 students on the MBA platform. And I have to consider that's probably one of the largest figures in the world for any institution to have 2,400 MBA students.
I come down to the Distance Learning Center, Abuja Center, to pick up the hard copies for the studies materials for my wife, which I got her enrolled here. I picked interest in getting her enrolled after I have made an inquiry. I came across the program online. I went to the NUC to if it was genuine, in fear of, and really they confirmed it to me that they were properly accredited, and I got her enrolled due to the flexible nature of the program.
Wherever you go in Nigeria, the ABU has remained attractive to many students. It's a very peaceful place where quality is maintained and so on. So when people realize this is coming, wow, people are coming in large numbers. Like you said earlier on, is the challenge of quality that people ignorantly think this is a lesser degree. No, your certificate will not show that you got your degree through a second way of doing it. Ultimately, is just the means of learning that is different, but the certificate and the quality of the degree, to me, can even be better through this system.
Recently, the Ahmadu Bello University Distance Learning Center churned out a first set of graduates along with the regular students of the institution at the Convocation Square of the institution.
The journey so far has been quite interesting. Though there is no any success without challenge, but all the challenges are manageable. The program is a convenient one.
Since I commenced this program, it's been fruitful, it's been so interesting, it's been convenient, it is study at your own pace. You don't have to queue for lectures. Wherever you are resident, you can attend your lectures, you can submit your assignments online, you can execute your group forum work online, and it's just very seamless.
The program is very good. I like everybody that program. We have watched it is very flexible, and it's a program that is not to stop your work. You can do it and the same time doing your work without problem.
Just like the slogan of the institution, Ahmadu Bello University Distance Learning Center remains an institution where learning is a pleasure and not an ordeal.
In the next 20-30 years, I see the Ahmadu Bello University Distance Learning Center being the heart of the university itself. The heart of the university, because I see the Distance Learning Center having probably about 10 to 20 times the number of students that we have on campus, for one. Two, I see the Distance Learning Center as floating virtually all the programs, or most of the programs that are being deployed on campus, but at the same time, developing and floating other programs that are viable that are not being taught on the Ahmadu Bello University. And with the increasing awareness on the use of technologies and educational delivery and the need for convenience by students or by learners, we believe that our program, the Distance Learning Center, in the not too distant future, will actually be the in thing.